I like Zhang Chang's staff. Today I found out someone from Pink Little Lolita is still alive. I work at a crematorium in the United States, and it's not an attractive job, but if you get angry, just adopt the most important tactic. Working here is not very painful. I've never been good at interacting, so I don't have to deal with many people here, or better yet, I don't have to deal with anyone. And strictly speaking, getting this job is not much different from the divorce papers of the Japanese company. You need to check the labels on the bodies and make sure everything is right. In this place, you put the remains in a machine and make sure they can be properly heated. Of course, I have to admit that this is a bit more centralized than the work in the Japanese company. In some movies, when someone is rejected by the hospital for not being able to pay, it's always a mess, but I adapted quickly. Many things have become numb to me, like the smell of corpses or human ashes on clothes, and the facts of life and death in recent years. Most of the time, there are 1 or 2 people working with me, a leader and another helper. We work in shifts, but occasionally. I like working alone, so it suits me. I'm strong. I can lift most bodies, so I have no problem working alone. Until recently, I haven't encountered any problems. After setting everything up, I feel relieved to work in the workshop. Maybe working alone, we need to share these difficult days. I've already put 2 bodies in the machine and I'm waiting for the 3rd. Feng Shaoyan needs about 2 hours, and after 2 hours, maybe it hasn't completely consumed. There is still a part of the skull and part of the brain left. When I heard that sound, I was preparing for our 3rd body. I've never heard a sound like that before. Usually, bodies don't make noise, unless maybe it's a reflex. I decided to continue, thinking maybe it's something normal, but the sound continued. I've been numb to many things. In those days, I heard many strange sounds, but I never heard a scream. I've heard bodies crack, but I've never encountered a horror story that needed to be told to scare people about death. That day, when I heard the scream, I thought it came from outside. Is something wrong with the machine? But the scream was getting weaker. Then I realized it must be coming from one of the machines. My attention turned to the 2 bodies in the forbidden area. When I listened carefully, I could distinguish that the scream was coming from there. It didn't scare me, but it piqued my interest because I had never heard a body make such a sound before. Felicity's body was the last one I put in, about 5 minutes ago. She weighed less than 100 pounds and was definitely dead. Felicity had a serious head injury and had been there for a while. Her body was in perfect condition, so it was strange to hear her make that sound. Maybe it was something to do with gases. I thought the machine would stop soon for cleaning. I would follow the body conversion procedure and wait for my colleague to finish. I was almost done when I heard another sound I had never heard before. The sound was coming from inside the machine, and I turned my attention to Felicity, who had been there for an hour. Her body should be ashes by now. I could see a shape through the flames, but I wasn't sure if it was moving. Maybe it's just a spasm or something, I thought. But then I saw a sudden movement and heard another scream, though muffled by the sound of the machine. It was Felicity. I started to feel a little uneasy, the flames making it difficult to see. When I realized something was really happening, I decided to continue with the procedure, thinking it was impossible for her to still be alive.